More impactful.
So you were saying it is an Egyptian to magic, and she was a charmer and could almost play into thoughts of people. So obviously this handkerchief was a gift from his mother, and it's very important to him. And I quote, "To lose it or to give it away were such perdition as nothing else could match." Line 63, Act 3, Scene 4. He's saying that if Desdemona were to lose it or give it away, it would be a very big deal because he cares about it a lot, and it's like a token of his love to Desdemona.
Yeah, because I need to say, and we can go like.
Okay, well, not only is it significant because it was his mother, but also the making behind it. So, quote 65, "'Tis true, there's magic in the web of it," including line 69. The words were hollow, so he was using, his mother used silkworms to design this handkerchief. So I think that's pretty significant as there's a lot of time and effort put into it. And yeah, great.
Okay, so the magic in the web of the handkerchief is symbolic, is important because his mother could.
That's what you can do. See this two sensors? You gotta hold them.
Because his mother was not magical, but she was important and she could read people's thoughts.
Yeah, that's
Magical.
exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
Magical. So my quote was from when Iago was explaining to Othello that Cassio had it. Line 440, Act 3, Scene 3. "Did I today see Cassio wipe his beard with it?" This was important because Othello was explaining to Desdemona about how if it was gifted or lost, it was Christina's quote. That's important. That's an important connection because okay, I would like to restart my sentence. So, Act 3, Scene 3, it's still the same thing. Did I today see Cassio wipe his beard with it? That was important because Othello was explaining to Desdemona about how if the handkerchief was ever gifted or lost, that would be symbolic of their marriage, like breaking, just deteriorating.
So basically what you're saying is that there's a strong connection between my quote about it not being a good thing if you make a gift of it and yours where Cassio wiped his beard.
Yes.
Because in my quote, it says, not to quote it again, but I will quote it again, "Or made a gift of it, my father's eye should hold remote." So, Othello is going to loathe her now that he thinks that she gave it as a gift to Cassio to wipe his beard with.
Yes.
Who's next?
So in other words, don't put your thumb over the mic? Yeah.
So, we have been over everyone's questions and what we think about everyone's point.
So now it's time to summarize.
Oh, I can summarize. Okay, so the handkerchief is very important. It's a very important symbol. It holds a lot of significance for Othello because it is a symbol of his love to Desdemona. When Othello thought he gave it to Cassio, that was an important symbolization of their marriage breaking. Even though that's not what happened, that's what Iago wants.
All say our questions, and then we're like, any question we're going to each other.
Jenna, have you ever felt an instance where you feel betrayed by someone to the like how Othello is like how Othello is being betrayed by Desdemona?
Speaking for myself, and I'm sure a lot of you have gone through the exact same thing,
But with Iago's position right now, he is currently trying to completely manipulate Othello, and he is doing a great job. And I'm sure we've all been manipulated and believed something that someone has said to us in regards of another person and using their opinion on what we think of another person.
See, I was thinking more like, have you ever felt betrayed, like how Othello feels betrayed by Desdemona? I was thinking more of a personal connection.
Okay. Well, yes.
Let's consider.
People behave this way.
I would not invite contradiction.
Let's go first.
Okay. You don't know.
We would not invite contradiction.
We'll crop this part out.
No.
Please.
Again. We want to invite contradiction.
Okay.
And then if you want to say something,
So, have you guys ever had an object or a possession that had a lot of meaning to you that you felt guilt for because you lost it?
Oh, now.
No, I haven't.
So many people have family heirlooms. So, for example, say there's a ring that's been going through generations of your family, and you get gifted to it by your mom, and you lose it. You're gonna feel a lot of guilt, and you're gonna feel like you let down the family because you could have passed it on for generations, and it could have lived on. But obviously, if you lose it, you can't do that anymore. So you feel immense guilt.
And so what you're saying is basically if someone does have a family heirloom, and a ring, for example, and they lose that ring, but let's put it in a position where they lend someone the ring, and that other person loses it, and that's a betrayal because you feel as though it is your fault because you gave it to that person, and it all revolves around trust, but your trust is being broken.
Yeah.
Okay, so I actually have a story about this, but it's not about me, it's about my sister. Oh, I'm so sorry. I got curious. My sister borrowed a ring that was my mom's that my dad bought her for her anniversary, and she lost it, but no one cared that much. But it was really sad. Yeah, she did lose the heirloom. Oh, I was thinking a little bit, this is kind of like Adam and Eve, because Eve bit the apple and betrayed everyone else. I don't know very much about Adam and Eve, but I know that it is betrayal.
So what you're saying is that it is a very good connection towards different stories, including Adam and Eve, because of the betrayal that Eve shown to God by taking the apple from the snake.
Yes.
So, if I may propose a question, why do you think people behave this way? Personally, I think.
Oh, we all have something to say.
I'm gonna go from the point of view of Othello. I think he is behaving completely rationally because from what he believes, he is just being betrayed by his wife, even though he actually hasn't. But from what he believes and what he's been told, I think he's behaving this way because he is hurt and he feels betrayed. But I think that is completely understandable in the situation.
Okay, I'd like to touch back on that a little bit because there's the whole thing about cuckolding. So that's why he's reacting like this, because cuckolding is a big thing throughout the play. That's why Iago's so ashamed of his wife cheating on him. I can't find it.
Well, that's okay.
But it is in the play. Thank you.
Well, I think the way that Desdemona is reacting to Othello is also completely rational in a way, because she's feeling guilt and she is taking out her confusion on Othello, which is also making him upset because Desdemona is not giving Othello an answer as to where the handkerchief is.
So, I'm going to be touching on what I think Othello is, why he is behaving this way. And honestly, Christina stated that she believes that he is rational, and I don't completely disagree, but I would have to say in some ways he speaks a little bit irrationally because of how convinced and how easily convinced he was towards Iago and the whole Desdemona and Cassio situation, because at one moment he was completely disagreeing and going against Iago, and then in the span of Iago's 2 words he switched up his whole entire mind and is against Desdemona.
Thank you so much, Jenna, for helping me see this in a different perspective. Because I was kind of just talking about how, from what he's been told, he's acting rashly. Because if I was to train with someone like that, I would also be hurt. But he made a good point, how he switched up very quickly, and how Iago just said this one thing, and then he immediately just went to Desdemona and cheating on her. She was unfaithful, and he just switched up very quickly. So I do think that is a little irrational, because it wasn't really thinking it through.
And if she just switched up would help the two of them get together, running messages and this and that, she would also feel empowered. She's like, oh, it's safe to him.
Let's right there. Lindsay, speak on what she believes.
Well, not really a belief question, but I feel believe. But I'm gonna ask a question to end off this conversation.
It's at 11, so.
Okay. Okay, well, my question is, if you were in Desdemona's position, what would you do to make this situation? Would you make one, or would you just go out and try to find it, or
May you repeat your question?
Actually, I can answer. Personally, if I was in Desdemona's shoes, I would probably go out and try and find it and ask her what about it, because I would hope that that is showing Othello / my husband that I am trying to make it right, and that it was an honest mistake, and that I'm trying to make it better.
I agree with you, because it's a symbol of their love, so she's trying to do something about finding it. That's showing that she's fighting for their marriage.
Yeah, I would hope that Othello, if I were Desdemona, would have trust in me, that I wouldn't just give it away or anything. And I would take steps to get it back or prove to him that I'm faithful.
Also, just to return to Megan's point a little bit earlier,
If I was in Desdemona's position, I would do exactly what she's doing and continue to look for it, and because if she were to be sneaking around it, it would make it seem as though she really is cheating on him with Michael Cassio, because if she was sneaking around, and if she was actually sleeping with Michael Cassio, I feel as though she would be able to get the handkerchief back at the same time, and since it was an honest mistake, kind of proves more of her innocence. That's all I have to say about that.
So just to end this off, with one last question, I would like to ask you guys, what do we learn? What is the truth about life / the world, and that this story reveals? So are there any lessons that you think this has taught us so far, or anything this reveals?
Honestly, I think asking how it changes our view about life and the world is a little bit broad, but we definitely learn a lot about honesty and manipulation because of Iago, and how we can learn to look out for red flags in people in the real life and real realities, because we wouldn't want to be in Desdemona's, Cass's, any of the positions that Iago is manipulating. We wouldn't want to be like any of those people, so yeah.
Thank you very much for listening, Mr. Smith.
thank you.
Want to end it?
I'll end it. Okay, now I'm going to send these both to myself. Yeah.